This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm here with Gly Solutions. Since 2011, they have been helping individuals and organizations positively affect long-term outcome. I'm here with Dr. Tanya Henderson. Thanks so much, Tanya. I mean, really, you're the doctor of management, a principal consultant here in the firm. Share with me a little bit. Let's go back before 2011. Obviously, a great place to learn about human organization. Is that in the military? Share with me how it is you got involved in this type of industry.
It's been an interesting journey. I graduated from Annapolis in 1990 and spent 12 years as a naval officer, so I learned a lot about people and organizations there. Then I worked as a defense contractor in the aerospace industry for about 9 years, and I saw a lot of situations where we had technical solutions that were clear, but the social piece of it, the human interaction part, seemed to get in the way a bit. So when I started my work as a doctoral student, I kind of started to chase that, and I found some answers in complexity theory, the way groups of people organize themselves on the fly.
Interesting. I mean, quite honestly, as individuals and organizations strive into the modern world, how is it a little bit different than it was maybe just 15, 20 years ago?
Actually, with globalism, with the internet, with competition on a global scale, even just to sell a t-shirt to someone down the street, things have really changed. We're all very interconnected, and the millennials think differently than other generations, so we need some new solutions to how we run our organizations and certainly how we do change in organizations.
Speaking of solutions, really your expertise is being able to take issues and challenges and really approach them with new and innovative ways. Is that right?
Absolutely. I'm building out some theory from my doctoral work that looks for patterns in the way groups of people behave, and we can use that strategically. If you notice certain patterns occurring within your industry or within the behaviors in your organization, that's a great place to figure out what future behaviors are likely to occur again, and to use that strategically so that you're prepared for those things that you might not have thought of in traditional risk management models.
Some of the models that you're helping with folks, I mean, you're able to take complicated issues and really simplify them, giving simple solutions as well as simple lessons. Is that really an important dynamic of your success?
It really is. It's interesting because it was a complicated journey to get here. It was about almost a 300-page dissertation to figure out something very simple. And other scholars know this, that the stories people tell are really important. And when groups of people tell stories about the same circumstances, there are patterns in that. And if you pay attention to the patterns in the stories among people in the same situation, you can kind of figure out the simple rules that allow them to function in their work environment and use those rules to make the organization as a whole more adaptive.
Speaking of function in their environment, organizations are met with decisions every single day. It's critical that they make the right decisions. How are you able to use your research as well as your knowledge in helping them down that path?
You know, it's interesting. There are a couple of different things. One is when you understand the simple rules, those principles that make an organization resilient, you don't have to manage every little minute detail because people understand the principles. It's almost like commander's intent in the military. And it allows for adaptation and flexibility within the framework of what makes your company itself. The other way is when we do like strategic planning facilitations and things like that, to always keep in mind the technical side and the social side and work with the patterns that emerge in that interaction on the fly.
Are you able to take really blended, you're really able to blend traditional tools of yesterday along with the new experiences you have as well as the research that you're able to perform, is that right?
Absolutely, that's what makes it fun. I was really blessed to be part of a great doctoral program that trained me as a management consultant in multiple different methodologies that have been tried and true and tested over the years that are part of the organization development staples. And then on top of that, I was able to come up with some ideas of my own with the help of my dissertation chair, David Bogie.
Speaking of ideas on your own, one of the innovative things that really caught my eye was management on the mat. Share with me what that is and what that entails.
It's funny, I started my yoga practice a little more seriously along the way, I guess about 6 years ago. And I kept hearing the exact same things in the teachings on my yoga mat that I was hearing in my readings on complexity theory and organization development. Same lessons, different language. So I was able to give a talk on that in Amsterdam this past summer, which was really fun, and I'm experimenting with some workshops. In fact, there will be one in February at the Center for Powerful Living here in Colorado Springs, where we take some ideas about how to do better with the patterns in your organization, and we teach those through a very gentle yoga practice, so we engage all of your senses in the learning, and it makes the ideas stick better.
That's kind of new for us in the Western side of the world. I mean, we're talking about organizational development kind of meets Eastern philosophy, and is that kind of an exciting thing?
That is. It's very exciting for me. It's kind of my own brand. It's my niche.
One of the things that I would think would be challenging, yet at the same time exciting, is being able to take all these adaptations, these approaches that you have, and really customize them for each one of the individual needs of the companies that you come across.
Absolutely. One of the weaknesses among management consultants is that, you know, if you came up with an idea, if all you have is a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail. So I try not to be like that. If what you need is a plain vanilla tool out of the old school, that's what I'll give you. But I'm certainly able to adapt on the fly to more complex situations.
Many viewers out there, or even owners out there, understand the need for strategic planning, for visioning. Share with me again a little bit more about the qualitative and quantitative research that you're able to provide for these organizations.
Predominantly, my work is qualitative. I can do traditional strategic planning using strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, that sort of thing, but I tend to like to do a thematic analysis on the fly and come up with a visual model as we go when I do a strategic planning.
Obviously, you've worked with small companies, large companies. Throughout the years, you've seen, like you said earlier, patterns. Share, if you will, I mean, simply, if you will, the management theory that you've come up with in seeing this throughout the years.
Well, it really comes mostly from my doctoral research. I understood that there were some certain kinds of patterns in human interaction because man is part of nature, and I wanted to know what that meant. So in my doctoral dissertation, I talked to a lot of nonprofit executives, and I ended up collecting data during the Waldo Canyon fire, which was pretty tragic for our community. And at the same time, I was able to witness how their social network changed in response to that. And that was where I figured out, with some help, that you could come up with those simple rules. That's what the patterns mean. They point to the underlying principles that are guiding people's decisions. And
that is fractal management theory, is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And so that, along with yourself and others that you've been able to work with, you've been able to come up with some great solutions. Are you able to really see some of these patterns and almost predetermine where people are going before they even get there?
To some extent, you can tell which sorts of patterns are likely to repeat, but strict cause and effect, linear predictability, I think, is a thing of the past, to be honest. The exciting thing is that there will be a new book coming out from Routledge in 2015 called Managing Fractal Organizing Processes that I'm co-authoring with David Boji that will build out this theory and make it really a lot more practical for people who want to roll up their sleeves and use it every day.
Interesting. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. First of all, on the website, you can take a little more of the services that she's able to provide out there. And you can also see some of the solutions that she provides, not only for individuals, but for organizations as well. And they've got a very informative blog out there that you can check out. And speaking of publications, share with me here the Bean Quantum. This is brand new, hot off the press. Share with me what folks are going to be learning here.
This book is a collaboration from 17 scholars from around the world that I co-edited with David Boji for Cambridge Scholars Publishing. And what's really neat is that it really takes some out-of-the-box ideas about time, space, materiality, and even a spiritual angle, and considers the organizational implications. That's really a very theoretical piece as opposed to a practical piece, but it offers a lot of different lenses to look at problems through, and I think that's where we get our innovation, is from that out-of-the-box thinking.
Like you said, it was kind of a complicated journey for you to arrive here, yet it's now a simple, as you look back, 2020 vision, you can see it's a simple solution. Speaking of solutions, let's end them with Gly Solutions. What does that mean?
My mother was Gly Henderson. She died in 2009. And she was really good at giving you just enough information to figure things out for yourself, to be more sustainable and stronger on your own and not feel bad about it. And I thought that's what good process consulting is. So I named the company after her.
And that really is where the passion still lies. Is this something that the both of you shared that passion?
I think so. I'd like to think it's part of her legacy, even though she didn't live to see it.
Wonderful. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen there. You can check out a little bit more about the mission and also about the principal consultant, that is Tanya Henderson, which began Gly Solutions here in Colorado Springs since 2011. That is Insight, Influence, Impact. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.